Hey, lovely, lovely, wonderful, beautiful people. A pleasant evening to everybody. Now, sometimes you don't want to address things, but at the same time, it may just be important and it may be able to help somebody else's life when we address certain things. Now, I saw very popular, I'm going to call her name Rosalee. Really crashing out on her live. In fact, I didn't watch the live. I was scrolling TikTok, and when I came across Derrick Morgan like picking up for her and saying people need to leave that particular matter alone, and it's hurtful to her, I'm like, am I hearing correctly? Derrick Morgan, the Derrick Morgan that has no qualms in demolishing her verbally, the vitriol that he has spewed, over a period of months or perhaps years, I don't know, has been very much astronomical and very unbelievable. But when I saw, even he had compassion towards her, I said, wow. When I listened to him, I said, that was commendable. That was actually commendable, because oftentimes when I hear him refer to her, it's awful. It's literally awful. And so I said, let me see what something must have happened that, and when I look, she really was crashing out on her life. You could, and let me tell you, as females, we know certain bawls, I have to call it, certain cries. We know it when it guttural, when it comes from the toes, when it is below the belly button and it is coming up. Like when they have the open sore that comes up and it's very powerful. Not likening her onto that. I'm just making an inference to say it is very deep, and we know that it is real, it is painful. It is all the pain, the trauma that she would have faced, because she even started begging for her mother to save her, that she doesn't die. The mother that she said abandoned her, rejected her, left her be, very intermittently, in different months. I was listening to her speaking. But when that pain hits, the only person that you cry out for is your mother. And I can now understand why the Bible says, can a mother's tender love towards her child cease? What that really is telling you, it is actually giving you the not just the historicity and the etymology, but the understanding that mothers, when they love their child, they fear no foe, no devil, no demon. They will go to hell and back to save that child. However, there are those who will abandon. There are those who will reject and ostracize, demonize and abuse. There are those. But it really was highlighting the power and the tenacity and the strength of a mother's love. The only other love that actually supersedes that is God's love. Not even a spouse. Not even a spouse, my beautiful people. When that mother loves that child, when everyone else leaves, she does not move. Stays like the rock of Gibraltar, formidable wall, and even more forceful and fortifying. And I'm going to say this to some people: when you see a man or a woman, let us say, fall, and this is not really a fall, you don't laugh, you learn. When you see someone crashing out and bawling, you do not laugh, you learn. It is not something to laugh about. Sometimes when I see the comments, I say to myself, people's hearts have gone beyond bitterness. It is hardened. Because some of those comments, I remember I don't really reply to people's comments. And I said, this is an unfortunate comment that you made. And I just put sigh, shake my head. Very unfortunate. It was just, I don't even want to repeat it. And all I said was, this is an unfortunate comment you made. Sigh. And when you do that, what you're telling God, what you're saying out there in the atmosphere is, I want my turn to come to bawl in such manner. And usually it comes worse. That's what you're doing, for those who may not know. That is why we said when somebody falls or when somebody is down and out, do not wound them further, because you're going to be wounded in your time of wound. And it's going to be deeper. It's going to be worse. That is what you're saying out there in the atmosphere. That is what you're telling God to multiply, or to allow to be multiplied. Let me say it that way. My heart goes out to her. When I saw her bawling, I could hear it. When the voice chips out because of the texture of her voice, she could not cry. She bawled for her mother. So you know, all of the trauma was just coming up, everything, and she just needed her mother there. She needed her mother there to come and say, it will be okay, I love you. It will be okay, I love you. It will be okay, my daughter, I love you. And that's all she would even need at that moment. And you know, there are many daughters who unfortunately are unable to get that kind of a love because the mother just simply don't know how to. That was just unfortunate. My heart went out. I froze just watching it, because only women, real women, can understand that pain that many times, oftentimes a lot of you men bring us through. Yes, you may say the women allow it. Yes, you know, sometimes they, but you know, brokenness only knows brokenness. You know, when they say, you know, respect begets respect, brokenness, I would almost say, begets brokenness. Somebody with low self-esteem will unfortunately attract, for example, good doesn't attract evil, evil doesn't attract good. So naturally, low self-esteem will attract toxicity, negativity, arrogance, pride. You know, people who are narcissistic don't care. You know, evil attracts evil. It feeds on each other. You know, so she's broken. Naturally, she will attract a broken person. And, you know, it's an unfortunate situation. And my encouragement to the people who post their comments, do not laugh. You learn. If you laugh, what you're saying out there in the atmosphere, what you're saying to God is, God, allow my time to come and let it be multiplied. That's what you are saying, because it will, guaranteed. You never ever laugh, even if the individual is your enemy. You know, some people have done me wrong over the years, evil and wicked, and let me tell you, their life has gone sour to the point of death, unfortunately. And, you know, when I hear, I said, it's just an unfortunate situation. I don't laugh. Don't laugh, no matter how evil and wicked they have been to me, no matter how evil and wicked and vitriolic they have been to me. I don't laugh. I learn. That is why I've often said, do not treat people badly. I mean, we'll make mistakes. I'm not talking about imperfection. I'm talking about a conscious decision. People who make conscious decision to do people evil, and they're intentional about it. Your day of reckoning is coming, and it comes at an inopportune time. It comes at a bad time. I remember a relative of mine wasn't feeling well and they had to be hospitalized for a day or so, or two. And I went to visit the relative, the family member. And there was an elderly woman there, old. And let me tell you, I may have been there for an hour. For the hour that I've been there, that woman was making pain noises. She was in pain for that, and there was no pause. And it was just, I could manage to hear it. So I said to the family member, I'm going to see you tomorrow or something of the sort. Be careful. Don't laugh, people. Learn. Wishing all the best, Rosalee. Guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me a like.